What is with this new wave of people buying old tech? By old tech, I mean things that are like 10 to 20 years old, MP3 players, VHS cameras, digital cameras, maybe even old phones, flip phones. Yes, trends come and go, and right now this old tech that I'm talking about is very trendy, but I think it is way deeper than that. This tech from this specific era and back has the potential to reshape our societies, give us our power back from our technological overlords, and create the communities that we so need and desire. No, I am not being dramatic in the slightest. And we're going to talk all about that today and then some. And piracy is back and better than ever. So let's get into it. First on the to-do list, we need to talk about the cost of convenience. What is the cost of convenience? There's a documentary called this apparently that I have not seen. Maybe I will check that out. Looks interesting. When I say the cost of convenience, I am talking about the hidden things that you may give up in exchange for a certain amount of convenience. For example, grocery stores. The convenience of grocery stores means you are at the mercy of what the grocery store has in stock. You have the freedom to choose whatever you want so long as it's in the grocery store. You can't technically have whatever you want because you're limited to what the convenience of the grocery store offers you. Same thing with something like Netflix. You are free to watch whatever you want as long as it's on Netflix and as long as you abide by the rules and that you pay that monthly fee. This is probably the most convenient thing ever crafted. We're going to be talking about this extensively if that wasn't obvious. We're talking about old tech, so we're probably going to compare it to new tech. So what is the cost of convenience in regard to a smartphone? The positive and negative effects of social media and phones and things related to that is so well documented. I don't have to sit here and tell you how amazing and potentially awful these things can be. Sidebar, as a society, I feel like we really need to start adopting the same language we use when we're talking about drugs to talk about these phones because, I mean, let's be real, are we not fiends for these things, right? I mean, we are addicted to these things in the literal sense, not figuratively. But anyway, we have never been more technically connected, but in actuality isolated than this time we're in right now. And as for the price of convenience when talking about phones, you can really think of it as all the negative effects that are associated with phones and things on phones like social media. So the price of convenience in this context could be anxiety, isolation, depression, and then some. When you think about the over-reliance on this singular device in your life, how much you use it for, how much time you give to it, you have to start thinking about how much actual time and power and attention you are giving to all the companies and corporations that are indirectly and directly attached to this thing. I was going to talk about this a little more, but I think I'll just mention it and maybe you can do your own research or maybe we'll talk about it later. But I'm sure there's people who are better suited to speak on this subject anyway. But when you get a chance, look up techno feudalism. The times we're living in right now are so crazy they had to come up with like a new word for it. It's insane. But basically the times we are living in now are very similar to back when there were feudal lords and things like that that controlled everything. Except now our feudal lords are, you know, the tech giants, the Apples and the whoever else. Hence the name techno feudalism. But we're not going to get into that right now. Definitely check it out on your own time. There is a great book about it. I think this is the guy who coined the term. If you're a reader, check it out. I think there's this sort of fallacy when it comes to talking about technology that all tech is good tech. Now, technology isn't a good or bad thing. It's just a thing, right? It's neutral. Sure, it can be used for good or bad, but it in and of itself is just tech. So a real quick formal definition of technology: the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, often involving the creation of tools, systems, and processes to solve problems or improve human life. So we're going to use this as our starting point. What I'm proposing here is that we have reached or are reaching a point in which technology is not really solving problems and it's not really improving human life, at least in the context of what I'm going to call social tech, which is like, you know, your phones. And let's be real, we're talking about phones here, right? Like we're talking about smartphones here. What I think we have seen in the past decade or so is a rise of scientific knowledge to solve business problems and to improve business lives. not human lives and not solve human problems. I mean, I'm sure the phones of 10 to 20 years ago would be perfectly viable and usable in today's society. The iPhone of 10 years ago, in its base form, not even if you were allowed to update it, with the new stuff that's out today, is perfectly usable, right? Like, you can call people, you can text people, you can listen to music. I'm pretty sure there's like maps and directions on there. So what real human societal problems does this new iPhone, whatever the fuck we're on, solve? So I would even go as far as to argue that a lot of new tech just creates new problems rather than solving human problems or solving whatever, or bettering human life, or whatever the definition said. There's a lot of things being implemented into current society that if current society wasn't so heavily based around this new tech that keeps coming out, wouldn't be a thing, wouldn't be an issue, wouldn't be a problem. A small example that I'm thinking of is you go to a restaurant nowadays and sometimes they don't have physical menus. All they have is scan the QR code, menu comes up on your phone. Well, what if somebody doesn't have a phone that can scan QR codes and bring up the menu? Now, you hope they have a physical menu. Probably most restaurants do have a physical menu, but in the near future, what if they don't? What if physical menus are obsolete? Therefore, you just create a problem for people who don't have this new tech, right? A problem that wasn't a thing until this new tech that is better and solves problems came to be. We are misguided in believing that all tech is good tech and that every advancement is for the advancement of people. So the question isn't, is modern social tech good or bad? It's, who is it actually good for? Is it actually good for us? I don't think so. Now, I don't have a problem with technology and I don't have a problem with convenience. I actually enjoy both of these things quite a bit. But as a wise person once said, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. Too much convenience in our tech has cost us so much as a society. And honestly, just look at the next wave of big modern tech that's coming up with AI. AI is fantastic for saving businesses a couple of dollars, letting it do things that, they would have to pay someone else to do, or creating things that they would have to pay someone else to create. Not really great for almost everyone else. Like, you would be fine if AI didn't exist, right? Like, consuming AI content versus consuming human-made content, you're just consuming content. Now, as far as creators go, obviously AI is like terrible, right? How does that benefit me at all? Great for businesses though. Great for businesses though. And that's what's really important, right? The businesses, that's who we really need to look out for, right? These businesses, man. That's what it's all about. Businesses are the priority forever and always. Please know I'm being sarcastic. Please know I'm being sarcastic. Okay, cool. I've talked about a lot of things, right? But what am I getting at? And what does this all have to do with the tech from 20 years ago and piracy and things like that? Where's the conclusion? Where are we going with this? What I'm proposing here is that the separation of tech, a trend that we have been seeing pop up everywhere now, is one of the best ways to protect ourselves from over-convenience technology and from our technological overlords that only see us as dollars and cents. So first, let's be honest, I've said this in the video a couple times already, but you have to acknowledge the fact that you are addicted to your phone. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. We all are, in the literal sense, not the figurative sense. Like I always say in all my videos, I'm talking about me just as much as you. I will never tell you something that I would never tell myself. Your human brain literally is just not wired to handle all that your phone can provide. In a literal sense, again, not a figurative one. There's science backing this. Again, this thing is more akin to a drug than anything else. A drug is, I think, one of the most accurate things you can compare this thing to, which is crazy, and we use it every day. Remember, you are the guinea pigs to this technology. Nothing like this has ever existed in the history of ever. We are the guinea pigs. We are the guinea pigs. Now, the separation of tech allows you to be a couple of things: more decisive, more aware, and more attentive. This is a handheld gaming system. It plays games. If I want to play games, I need to have my handheld gaming system. This is an iPod. It plays music. If I want to listen to music, I have to have my iPod. This is a camera. It takes pictures. If I want to take pictures, I need to have my camera. These one-dimensional devices don't give you the option to get distracted looking for your camera app when you're trying to take a picture of that cute-ass dog over there. How many times have you gone on your phone with the intent to do one thing, and then all of a sudden you've ended up on Instagram and you've been there for the last hour? This bombardment of apps and things to do zaps your decision-making, your attentiveness, and your awareness. Three very important things to being a functioning human being. And secondly, let's be real here, these companies do not care about you. They want you to be stressed, they want you to be depressed, they want you to be anxious, because then you will rely on their drug some more, aka the phones and all the apps that you can find on said phone. Also, they're just not good people running these companies, if we're being real. Like, go figure, right? Like, these people running these billion-dollar companies, being billionaires themselves, not good people. What a surprise. Have you ever heard of planned obsolescence? It's when companies intentionally make products that will not last long, so that instead of being able to upkeep and maintain the thing that you've already bought, you will have to go and buy the next one that's coming out next year. Did you know that you don't have the right to repair? Taking it a step further, certain companies will build their devices so that even if you tried to repair it, you literally could not without destroying it. But this is way more prevalent now than in the old tech that I've been referencing and talking about and showing you in this video. It was and is way easier to fix and modify these products from this different era of tech. And you know what? We haven't even talked about the streaming services and other apps that are on said new tech. Jesus Christ. Streaming companies are some of the worst offenders. Like, if I'm being completely honest, these guys are just sleazeballs, man. Streaming companies intentionally taking away shows that they created and produced so they don't have to pay royalties to the people who created it. Preventing password sharing after saying, we're cool with password sharing. We know you're doing it. It's all good. We're the cool company. Crazy. Just intentionally trying to fuck over anybody who isn't literally in the inner circle of the company as much as possible. The consumer, the people who create the content, everyone's getting fucked over. Spotify just being casually ran by like an evil dude. Like, you know, like sometimes it's just that. Sometimes the people are just like not good people. Your entertainment is being held hostage by evil billionaires who want nothing more for you to just sit there and go like that. But on this channel, we don't go like that. Old tech is fixable, old tech is more consumer friendly, it's less distracting, there's obviously a big community behind it, and it's very moddable. Which brings us back around to the iPod Classic that I said I am about to buy. I have not bought it yet. I wanted to buy it for this video, but I mean, I don't need to have it physically to talk about what I'm going to talk about here. I am able to relatively easily put more storage in this thing for more music. I can change the color of it to whatever color I want, and I can put firmware on here that allows me to listen and download whatever music I want to without having to go through the evil corporations such as Spotify and probably Apple Music. And speaking of, I briefly mentioned a couple times that piracy is back, and it's never been easier and safer to do so. Here is a great video on the topic. It talks about the battle of streaming wars versus piracy, how the streaming companies are awful and terrible, how they just took advantage of everybody and thought we were just gonna not do anything about it. Definitely check out this video. It definitely got me hyped and inspired to make this video that you're watching right now. And these piracy sites are just as good, if not better, than these popular streaming services. And you can watch whatever you want for free. Like, come on, bro. Now, I am a director and cinematographer. That is my day job. And I say that to speak on the ethics of piracy. If I had a movie on Netflix, would I be upset that people were pirating it? Honestly, no. I would not. These streaming companies go through crazy lengths to save as much money as possible. Like I said before, going as far as deleting shows off of their own streaming service, shows that they made themselves. so they didn't have to pay royalties. If I had a movie on streaming services, if anything, I need to make sure I'm protecting myself from the streaming services. We need to look at piracy not as this illegal thing, but for what it really is. A response to a messed up system that is taking advantage of not just consumers, but everyone who is just not the company. Sometimes you have to take action, shake things up to see the change that you actually want. You need to take your power and attention back from these companies who, quite honestly, do not give a damn about you. So pirate away. Whenever I get to that point where I'm on a streaming service, I'll make sure I'm protected from the streaming services, not from you guys who are pirating the movie and enjoying it, hopefully. And buy some old tech. Have your camera separate from your music, have your gaming separated from your phone. I think you could make the argument that, oh, overconsumption, now I have all these things, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's a fair thing to say and a fair thing to argue. But I'm gonna argue it's probably better than the alternative, right? We've talked about the price of convenience. Don't think I'm gonna get that playing a PSP and having an iPod and having a digital camera. But you know, if you feel that way, get in the comments, for real. And you know, maybe you'll unlock a new hobby. I feel a new hobby brewing for me. I'm really excited to get this iPod and to modify it and make it however I want to make it. It's getting me into electronics too. I just bought this electronic kit that I've been working on and playing with. Maybe I'll make some videos about it. I'm probably gonna definitely make the video about my iPod mod. But that's for later. But on a very serious note, guys, if you're unhappy with the way things are, you only have two options: sit there and take it, or resist. Thank you for tuning into that video. This feels like it's going to be a long one, probably the longest one I've ever made, so I'm not going to say too much in this outro. I'm very glad that you listened to this yap session. I'm very glad that you're here. If you feel so inclined, I do invite you to like and subscribe. But either way, I do hope you stay, and I will catch you next time. Bam!